In May 1994, I joined NetApp to run sales. 6 months later, Don Valentine became our chairman, the legendary founder of Sequoia Capital. And I liked getting to know Don. He's very, very intense. And during the first few board meetings, he was very challenging but supportive. And then he came to me in January or February and said, "You know what, Tom? Don't come back here for board meetings. I want you on the road. I want you out selling." I thought, hey, how good's that? So I went out and we built a team. We did real well. We were getting ready to go public about 9 months later. And I get this message, "Don, I want you at the next board meeting." I'm like, oh, this is going to be good. I'm picturing, generals coming home from Rome, everybody screaming. Going to be unbelievable. As I'm walking in the room, all pumped up, the CFO hands me his overhead. He says, "Don likes to see this one to start." So I put it down. I'm ready to move on. I didn't have many overheads. If you're way ahead of goal, you don't have a lot of overheads. I had one slide. Here's the goal. Here's the number. All excited. And Don dives into this slide. "What's in that deferred revenue column?" I go, "I don't know." And I'm trying to move on. He's going, "You don't know? You always put things up you don't know." This went on and on and on. And I kept waiting to move on. And finally, a half hour later, he goes, "Well, we got what we need." I come walking out of the room. I'm stunned. I can't believe what's just happened. Doug Leone comes running up to me. Now, Doug runs Sequoia Capital today. Great guy. And he says to me, "You didn't like that meeting, did you, Tom?" I said, "Doug, that Stanford education wasn't wasted on you." "No, I didn't like that meeting at all." He goes, "Well, what do you think Don was doing?" I said, "I honestly don't know, Doug." He said, "Well, last year when things were a little rough when Don joined the board, how did he treat you?" I said, "He was supportive." He said, "Yeah." He said, "Now Don knows the numbers. He knows you're blowing it out. Why do you think he's making you uneasy?" I said, "I don't know." Because of complacency, Tom. He believes the number one killer of companies is complacency. And he's not going to let you get complacent. Lesson learned. I've often said, times are tough, you got to be supportive. Times are good, you have to inject tension. You have to make people do better. That came from Mr. Valentine. Now, in our industry is littered with companies who seem to have a great thing going, incredibly good. DEC in the mid-'80s. 1985, think a 5 to 10 year lead, they're dead in 5 years. Sun Microsystems, what would you have bet in 1999 Sun Microsystems wouldn't be dead 10 years later? These companies were well known to have tremendous culture and all these other things, but if you talk to people who are there, talk to people at Hewlett-Packard and Dell today, and they'll tell you there's complacency everywhere. So I ever thought about complacency, because I do think it's the killer of company. There's a couple things I'd point out to you. Number one, no one ever thinks it's them, ever. If I said to you, "Do you have complacency in your company?" You probably, those 10 guys have it. I'm not complacent. Somebody's complacent. So what is it about complacency that you don't see it yourself, you see it in others? That's why it's so destructive, because people won't attack it. Now, when companies have complacency and they say, "We got to shake things up," things are going poorly, what do? They typically create a burning platform, meaning the world's going to end as we know it if we don't do something. Even the most complacent person will react to that. Doesn't mean they'll react well, because what you get is a false sense of urgency. You get activities, you get tasks, and people get ground down and they can't complete the task. Even if they blip up, it's not sustainable. And I think that's what you saw in a lot of those tech companies. At the end, they churned around, they gave away stuff, they tried everything, and they went down. Now, what would be the opposite of that? Here's what I'm going to suggest to you. It's your opportunity and it's your obligation to create in the minds of people what the big opportunity is. That's what's depending upon you if you're a leader. At any level in the organization, what is the big opportunity that we're supposed to chase? During the dot-com bubble, our big business went away. We were the tech company. We said our big opportunity is going to give us an opportunity to get in the enterprise. We laid out the plan. We said what market shares we'd have to take, and we took them. When the financial meltdown happened in 2008, our second largest market went away, supposedly. We said the big opportunity, they're going to virtualize. We're going to get with VMware. We're going to win that market. Win the market. We're the company owned by our competitor. Yes, we're going to, and we did. You look at the biggest banks in New York, the biggest banks in London, the relationship between us and VMware, the whole company got the message. And we said what we're going to do is we're going to drive that and win it. Now, today, the world's a little shaky economically. We all know that. Times are tough. It's not going to be an even road. But I can tell you here at NetApp, we know what our big opportunity is. We have a product we believe is going to change the world. The entire company knows what I'm talking about, and we're focused on it. And we're going to drive how people look at technology. What is your big opportunity? In your company, what are you doing? First of all, are you complacent? Of course not. Think about it. Is it good enough? Good enough's the best of the worst, worst of the best. What are you going to do to raise the bar around a big opportunity? John Cotter of Harvard has worked with us on this for about 4 or 5 years and done a fabulous job of helping us understand this is an organizational thing. It's not a top-down thing. So anybody listening to this, it's your responsibility to understand. Your troops have to understand, what's the mission? Why should I sacrifice? If I do, what happens? That's what leadership's about.